Hello everybody, welcome to another episode. Today I got some video content to show you and a little bit of a rant. Not gonna lie, and I do apologize. If you don't like ranting and you're not here to see me bitch, that's fine. Skip ahead a little bit, you'll get to the fishing part. Alright, I got a question for you guys. How many of you knew that there was a Pan Am bass fishing North American tournament being held in Cornwall, Ontario, in Canada, that was going to be featuring some of the biggest stars in the bass fishing world, especially in the US. We had Scott Martin with his dad, Roland Martin. We had B-Lat. We had David Dudley. We had Jacob Wheeler. We had all kinds of powerhouse guys. John Cox was up here. Bunch of powerhouses from the FLW mainly. We had up here Team Canada, Team USA, Team Mexico, and I believe some other southern countries joined Team Mexico. I think Puerto Rico had some team members representing, I could be wrong about that, as well as a team representing the Native Americans that live in that area. And this was like a big deal. We had some of the superstars in here, and yet you probably didn't hear about it, or if you did, you really didn't see much about it. I'm a little upset about that, and we're going to talk about why I thought this tournament was a little bit weird and held like a private event instead of something that was supposed to be for the fans or something that's supposed to help draw attention to bass fishing to get it into the Olympics. So listen, we're going to talk about that, but first I got invited by Brett Carnwright, who, if you guys remember, I got to fish with, or at least be in the boat with, in the chase boat with David Dudley at the FLW Champlain Tour Stop. He invited me to come and pre-practice with him on Tuesday because he was part of Team USA as well, and which was super cool. I got to run into a couple of my favorite folks in the bass fishing world. So listen, check that out. And then when you get back, we're going to talk about this tournament a little bit and what I really did not like about it, and I'm not even really sure why it was done that way. So check it out, watch the content, and then we'll be back. And of course, before we get started, don't forget, if you get a chance, please make sure you subscribe. Drop a like, drop a comment if you have anything to say, and tell me, am I being, is this a storm in a teacup, or does this seem legitimately strange to you? All right? Thanks, guys. Hey, good morning, guys. I think it's time for a road trip. Let's do a road trip. Yeah, we're going to do a little road trip, okay? We're going to go to a place called Cornwall, Ontario. So join me. We're going to go drive for about an hour and a half, and we're going to go meet up with some special folk. Let's do it. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode. Today we got something pretty cool going on. I am hanging out with Brett. Brett, say hi.
Howdy, bud. Or to all the people.
If you guys don't remember Brett, he's the guy that I hung out with when we were following David Dudley around at FLW, and he is up here along with a bunch of other pros, and they are practicing for the Pan Am Games, which is like this big North American, actually South America's participating too. They got a bunch of teams coming up here on the St. Lawrence, and they're going to be fishing Thursday, Friday in kind of like this Olympic style event that they're doing. It is freezing today. It's like, what is it, 35 degrees?
Yeah.
It's about 35. That's 3 degrees Celsius for Canadian folk. We're actually on the Canadian side. We're near a city called Cornwall, this tiny little place, like population 40,000. Yeah, so that's it. So we're gonna go practice. I'm gonna just drive around. I'm gonna follow Brett, let Brett pull me wherever he feels like, and we're gonna see if we can catch us some nice giant smallies today. We'll see if we run into other people. B-Lat's up here, Jacob Wheeler's up here, Scott Martin's here, David Dudley. There's a bunch of people, bunch of big names all hanging out, so we're gonna see what happens. All right, let's get some fishing. I gotta stop screwing around and actually try and catch something, all right? So let's do it. Nice to meet you too.
He wants to marry Latimer.
Oh yeah, oh Latimer, that's that smile. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's that smile, right? That $1 million smile.
It is, exactly right. There's not as much current here today. I drifted this yesterday. There was like over 3 yesterday here.
Man, it's cold. It's water temp. Yeah, that's good. It's warmer, yeah. You're gonna try and flip them? You want me to grab them? There you go. Hey, there's a nice one. Look at a fat ass on this guy. There you go. Welcome to smallmouth. You just throw a Senko? There you go.
It's out of weight, yeah.
That's a nice one.
How small its mouth is. That's like a 2.5 pound mouth.
Nice fish. Now you're getting started. There you go. Told you, everybody I fish with ends up winning. So did you saw everything about the new merger, the acquisition?
Yeah.
You know, just oh, there you go. He's got something. There you go. Oh, P-R-I-C-K. Oh, did he bite me off? He might have bit me off. Oh, did he bite me off? He did bite me off. Dang it. All right, starting to find signs of life. That's a good sign. Oh, check this guy out. That is not a seagull. Oh, it's a, he's got a big fish in his claws there. Well, at least he got a fish. Okay, I ain't skunking today. There's no effing way. I'm gonna go home with empty-handed today. This is not gonna happen. I'm on. I don't think that's a walleye. That's definitely not a walleye. Man, I love how they fight here. It's actually decent. There you go. Little chubber. Very nice. They're actually recording that? I did. Good job. See you, bud. I feel like you're downplaying. Is it bad that I'm a Canadian fishing with an American? Oh, come on, I got a little taste of victory here now. We gotta. Oh, I was on. I was on. Oh, I just got tapped. Oh, I got tapped. Oh, yeah, there. Little guy. The hell is that? Perch? Really? You waste my time. I was wondering what this little dink was. Maybe I should just use you as bait. Oh, no, that's probably just weird.
Check it out. What is it?
Dan Richard Fishing.
Dan Richard Fishing.
Thanks, bud. That's why he's Angler of the Year right there.
And back here, Dan, I ain't seen you catch nothing.
I'm trying to give him a chance, you know. He's the one competing. I'm just here for moral support. So, how's it been treating you so far? Are Canadians being nice to you and stuff? They saying sorry a lot?
Yeah.
That's what we do. We say sorry.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
You know that, eh?
Yeah.
You rest assured, we're sorry about it. Oh, got my tail bit off. Have you caught any adult-sized smallies yet?
There's always a wise one in the world, always.
Samir, did we just get punked? Okay, what is he pulling out of his ass right now? All right, so David Dudley just pulled up next to us, and while we were talking, proceeded to pull out 3 fish. Or 4? How much did he get? 4? We just got punked by the Angler of the Year. Thanks a lot, David. Appreciate it. Oh, look at this. Look who's catching fishes. There we go.
I think it's a walleye.
Yes, sir. The king of the walleye. There we go. Beauty. Well, look at it this way. You know, if you were foraging for food, you'd be eating well tonight. So we've seen pretty much everybody except for Scott. Oh, it's true. We haven't seen B-Lad either. Where's he hiding? Hey guys, of course the GoPro's off right now, and boom. Actually, probably my best of the day, by quite a bit. Well, there you go. I should just keep the GoPro off. That's how I catch fish. Sorry about that, guys. I turned the camera off, and of course we hook up a fish. Caught that one on the Ned. On again. Oh, came off. Popped off.
Oh, Well, it's been real.
Been a real.
Yeah, we suck.
That was not one of the better fishing days of our lives. All right, guys, that's it. Time to go park the boat. Time for everybody to go home. Well, we got your meeting thing to do. So, how would you like to describe today's day?
Not good.
That was pretty rough. That was pretty rough. We came in here full of confidence and we got slightly schooled. It was still a cool day. It's still nice to be on the water. It was a beautiful fall day too. So that's it, guys. I'm gonna head back to Montreal, get back into the city, and we will be back here on Friday for the weigh-in. We're gonna see who's the champ. We're gonna find out if Team USA can bring another gold or if they're gonna get shellacked by Team Canada, probably. All right, thanks a lot for having me out, all right? All right, see you guys, have a good one. Okay guys, so not gonna lie, it was a pretty slow day. I think we were lucky to get 5 fish between the two of us, but it was still super fun to hang out, be part of the Team USA pre-practice, get to hang out with the guys, got to meet Jacob Wheeler for the first time, so that was pretty cool. But let's talk about the tournament itself. I don't understand what they were thinking with this tournament. And what I mean by that is, the pros did an amazing job, okay? I know that the pros come up, especially Team USA, they came up here, they do this on their own dime. I mean, sure, they do have sponsors, and I'm sure they all shot all kinds of content for their YouTube channels, that sort of thing, but they're not here to win money, okay? So they're paying everything out of pocket to do this. They're winning, you know, medals and things like that, but this is really to get attention to the Olympic Committee to say, hey, let's get bass fishing as an Olympic sport. Very cool dream, very big picture. That's cool. The pros came down. It was very well organized for the pros. You know, they had boats made available for Team Mexico, so they didn't have to bring their boats down and all that sort of thing. And it seemed to be organized in that sense. I'm talking about from a fan perspective, a fan viewpoint. So I'm a fan, and I want to know about this tournament. I wanted to attend the tournament. I wanted to, you know, be there for the award ceremony and stuff like that. But the communication was absolute garbage to fans on this event. And listen, this is not a reflection on the pros that attended this, Scott Martin and all those guys. In fact, the only reason why I found out about this tournament in the first place was because of David Dudley, and I got a little bit more detail just because I follow Scott Martin. If I wasn't following the FLW guys, I would never have even known this tournament was happening. And once I did, getting information on it was trash. So just to get started, to give some background, this was basically a Canadian initiative to host it here in Canada from a guy named Bob Azumi. Now, Bob Azumi brought fishing to a whole new level here in Canada. Every Canadian fisherman knows who this guy is. You know, I'm in my 40s and I was watching Bob Azumi on public television when I was just like a little kid. So he's been around forever. So this was organized by him as well as the CSFL. It is the Competitive Sports Fishing League, I believe, something like that, which is an Ontario, Canada fishing league. These guys organize tournaments and things like that. And I feel like they completely dropped the ball, okay? Let me give you some examples. When I was Googling, looking for this event, I found a Facebook page that was set up for the event that did not tell us where the venue was. It didn't have scheduled times as to when the weigh-ins were. There was very little information aside from, hey, this is organized by Bob Azumi and the CSFL, and yada, 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 and that was about it. There was very little information. On the CSFL website, literally the day of the tournament, I went on the homepage of the website and there wasn't a single thing on the homepage about it. Nothing. I found an article that was published. I guess they were press releases. And the press releases showed, in fact, one of them I read said that practice was Wednesday, Thursday, and then the tournament was Friday, Saturday, which is wrong. The practice was actually Wednesday and the tournament was only Thursday, Friday. So it was just horrible to find information on this event, where it was being held, what times were the weigh-in, all that stuff. It just made no sense. And I actually had to search for about 20 minutes before I could even, maybe even 30 minutes, before I even figured out what marina this was being held at. So it was really weird. So that was the first part. The fan communication was just absolutely awful for this event. It was really run like a private tournament where they didn't care who showed up. Okay, next. The Thursday, so this was supposed to be a 2-part tournament, okay? Thursday ended up being canceled. I could see by the weather that it was going to be a north wind blowing like crazy rain, so I could already tell that this was going to be postponed. And sure enough, by 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, they suspended that day of tournament fishing. Then what they did was they did an announcement saying that the following day, Friday, would be divided into two parts. There would be 2 4-hour days, and there would be a weigh-in at each one. So the first weigh-in would be at 11:30, and the next weigh-in would be 5. But once again, they did not explain at what time, that they'd be fishing until 5, but they didn't explain what time the weigh-in would be at and what time the awards ceremony would be at, because this is an Olympic-style event. They're going to be giving out medals. You kind of want all your fans to come, applaud, that sort of thing. No information whatsoever. So I actually had to contact Brett and David Dudley to find out what the heck was going on, and that's when I found out that there wasn't even going to be a medals presentation for the public. It was private. So what they did was they were going to have a dinner after the weigh-in, and then after the weigh-in, like at night, they would do the medals presentation, and it was at the hotel. It was not for people to go and watch. Why would you have an Olympic-style event that we can't go watch? It just, again, does not make sense. You're trying to gain popularity of the sport. Why treat this like a private event? I don't even get it. I watched live coverage. This is about the only thing that was cool, is they did have live coverage. Okay, so there was a live coverage of the weigh-ins only. So there was a weigh-in at 11:30 and another one, I believe, at 5, if I remember correctly. At no point during the weigh-in did they ever explain the format of the day and how winners would be calculated. In fact, it wasn't until the next day that I figured out there was gold, silver, and bronze medals for the individual biggest bags, the individual boat, because each boat was a team of 2. And then there was medals for each country based on the average the teams caught. None of that was explained during the weigh-in, so you had no idea how the format was, who was winning, who was getting gold, because they were saying like, okay, so-and-so was getting the gold, but it's like, well, no, wait a minute, we haven't weighed the rest of the teams, how's this making sense? They never explained it. So up until the day after, and I started looking at the format, and I also spoke to another one of the pros, then I finally realized how it was working. So there were individual medals as well as team medals based on the team average. Again, horribly described, and nowhere on the site, anywhere, did it explain any of this. None of it was explained in the format of the event. I don't understand what kind of fan communication this was. It was horrible. Let's see, what else happened? Right, of course, even for the live coverage, I found out that it was on the CSFL Facebook page. The only reason why I knew that is because I happened to get in my email a newsletter from flw.com that was talking about the event. And I clicked on the newsletter, opened it, and that's where they mentioned that the live feed would be on their Facebook. And the worst part is I went to the CSFL Facebook page at 11:30, clicked on live coverage, and it just gave me an error. Nothing was working. Luckily, I scrolled down the main page, and then I saw the live coverage window that was there, and I clicked it and had it play. Anyway, sorry, this is a really long rant, but again, I just don't understand how you can bring in these superstars and not try and attract a ton of people to come to Cornwall. And I planned on going. I was going to go. The weigh-in on Friday was supposed to be at 4, and there was supposed to be a medals presentation, so I figured a couple of hours for that, and then I could be back in time. I had to be back in the city by 7. But because Friday, they completely flipped the schedule upside down, I never attended, so I didn't get to go see anybody, and I didn't get to go and get some swag. I didn't get to go and get some autographs, some cool photos with people. I really wanted to meet Roland Martin, and none of it happened. Again, to me, just that whole public communication side, which is not the fault of the pros at all. In fact, the pros are the only reason why I knew about it in the first place. That was just a complete dog's breakfast. So listen, if there's anything that I can recommend to the organizers of these of this event in the future, not necessarily the CSFL because they're not going to do it again, but whoever's in charge of doing this, please make sure that your fan service is about 1,000,000 times better than what it was, because the communication to the fans on this one was really a ball dropped big time. And, for somebody like me who really kind of keeps in touch with all this stuff, for me to find it difficult, your casual fans are clueless. They had no idea. So, and you could also tell, by the way, in the live feed, in the live presentations that they were doing, you could see that even that was completely empty. There was like nobody in those rooms. It was only Team Mexico that had a ton of their folks back home tuned in. But like in terms of Canadians and Americans watching, there was only a few. That chat was completely dead. Why? Because nobody frickin' knew about it. So that's pretty much it, guys. Okay, so please, organizers, next time, Everything else looked great in terms of the actual tournament itself, but I don't understand why you would treat this like a private tournament with a closed medal ceremony. That made no sense as a fan to me. Maybe it made sense to the organizers or whatever, but I can only think of two reasons why this went down the way it did. One, because they, on purpose wanted this to be treated like a private event and didn't want a bunch of public there. Or two, it was run by the CSFL, who are used to smaller tournaments where it's kind of like just the locals show up, and didn't think big enough, didn't think national, didn't think international coverage on this the way that they should have. So that's about it, okay? So yeah, that's my feedback, okay guys? So thank you so much for watching the video. Comment below, tell me what you think. Am I a crazy person or is this a legitimate concern? And let me know, what did you guys think of the Pan Am event if you even watched it? A couple of the pros will definitely be having some videos out on it. Scott Martin will, Dudley will as well. And they got a couple of surprises in their videos too that I heard about, so you guys should really be enjoying it. And I hope you like the practice video, even though it kind of sucked. Next video, we're going to have some fun, and I will be running a contest, so be sure to check that out. And finally, thank you so much to you guys that are following me on Instagram. I actually just hit my first 1,000 followers on Instagram, so if you're not already following me, please check it out. My username is simply @DanRichardFishing, so go check it out. And again, thank you so much for subscribing, commenting, liking, all that good stuff, and I will see you next episode. And again, we're having a contest next episode, okay? Keep an eye out. Next week, contest time. All right, see you guys. Have a good one. Thank you so much. Have a great week.